welcome back to Keeper of the Keys, episode 4. I'm wearing a sweater because I need to buy more blouses. It is the beginning of June and it's starting to get really hot. I went to the farmer's market today, and they have like greenhouses, and you can get like different plants and flowers and stuff. So I walked in those greenhouses and whew, it was hot. But I have my candles lit, I have my tea ready with my mint. Oh my god, I got stuck on the mint. Why is it making that noise? And I'm ready to dive in. So for this week's episode, again, I have my computer here, so if you see me looking down, I'm reading a transcript. Welcome back. For this week's episode of Keeper of the Keys, I will be discussing the alluring, the mysterious, the paradox that is Alexandra Savior. Alexandra Savior is one of those artists that is just the term jazz. When I think about jazz, despite its musical influence, I think to define something as jazz or to use it as an adjective is they just have like an aura to them. They have a charm. There's something about them that's just jazz. And I have this specific Pinterest board that I made, and it's all these like very charming, alluring pictures and vibes, and like that just feel like using the term jazz as like an adjective. But yeah, there's something suave and charming in her music and the sound of her music and how it makes you want to move. The music and the photos give off an energy that's described as jazz, yes. I feel like Alexandra Savior gives off this vibe. I believe that she is a combination of French cinema, Pacific Northwest vibes, and just purely stardust. There's something about her that's just ethereal and a little otherworldly, honestly. Okay. Her music transports me into a spy novel or series. For my Pinterest collage that I make for each key, in parentheses, musical artist, so for each person, for each episode, I make a Pinterest collage of what I feel mood-wise their vibe is, or how I feel when I'm listening to it, or what is going on in my head when I'm listening to them. So for hers, I placed together a lot of like film noir pictures. I threw in some French cinema pictures, black and white, Twin Peaks flooring type protection and purity, the black and white. And that's interesting because I wrote this a few days ago and I actually lit my candles and they are black and white candles. So everything's lining up. I always start with how I first came across her. So I got wind of her first with a track from the Archer album. Now she has 3 albums out currently, I believe. The Archer was her second album, so her sophomore album. I can't remember what track it was, but I do remember during the same time my mom watched like a series and she said that one of her songs was in it. I think it was Saving Grace. Yes, it was Saving Grace from that album. And she was like, I really like this song. And I was like, ooh, I did know this artist. I saw like a song from her. Let me like dive into her a little bit. So I got into her and I got obsessed, and I love her music and I love her world that she creates and transports me to. To start from the beginning, her first album, Miss Transatlantic Barrier, that's what I wrote. Enunciation on the R, barrier. The Alex Squared Project, the album that is Belladonna of Sadness. So this is her baby, her first kid. There is a lot to say about this project. Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys and Alexandra Savior worked on this album, so they worked on the album together. I read briefly that she toured with the Last Shadow Puppets. I think she opened for Arctic Monkeys as well. Don't quote me, that might not be right. But the sound of the album, the sound of Belladonna of Sadness, is described as desert psychedelic rock. Hearing that, when I hear like psychedelic, like desert rock, I think of Melody's Echo Chamber, which if you haven't gotten to Melody's Echo Chamber, really get into Melody's Echo Chamber. The album covers are gorgeous, and it's very like, it's just amazing. I don't want to give a shit detail of like a shit like review really quick of, because she's amazing. Anyway, I enjoy the tracks that are on Belladonna of Sadness. I really enjoy the tracks. I love those tracks. I felt really connected to a lot of the tracks in like a very like mysterious type of way, because that's how the album is. It's very like spy, like, or like very like, I don't know, you're just in like a mystery or like a crime movie or book. Like, it's how it feels. I loved reading or writing narratives and having this music as a background. So whether I was reading like a fantasy series at the time or something where like it was like a dark romance or something, I'd be listening to those, or even like writing scenes for my own stuff that I like to do creatively. I would listen to her music and be like, are you looking for your shit? It's like, okay, but it set the scene perfect. But, I just got a name. Okay. But, in the back of my mind, I replay this interview in my head, or I remember hearing how Alexandra explained how that album didn't feel wholly herself. Actually, it's on my phone. Okay, of course I can't find it now, but I do, so then maybe don't quote me. Don't quote me, maybe I made this up, but I do remember Alexandra saying that like, this album didn't feel entirely hers because of the collaboration with him, and I feel like I definitely hear the contrast from Belladonna of Sadness and the Archer album and her new album. And as much as I love Belladonna of Sadness, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I feel like she didn't. I think when you're collaborating, collaboration is very important, and it can be so great. And I'm not trying to say it's bad, but it's also like, it's very difficult for you to have like sole control over what you want to put out. And I feel like I definitely see that for Belladonna Sadness. Like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it was just not entirely her. I feel like that's how she feels, and now that remembering that she said that, I think she did, maybe I'm just making drama, I do understand what she's saying. To hear this information makes me sad. I'm upset that Alexandra's first album, her first release, did not feel entirely hers, or that she didn't have a say in it. But I think it's so important to see what she's done now and how far she's come now, because the album after was amazing, and her new album is just as gorgeous, and I love the new album. I love it. I've been listening to it all the time, and I can't wait to talk about it. I'm just so excited about it. So the Belladonna of Sadness album, I put the songs on that album on like Spy Playlist or like Enemies to Lovers. It's very like dark, romancy, or just like crime novel, you know, film noir type media. They go great with that. So Yeah, I said they just sound like you're going on a secret mission. Thriller and romantic thriller. My favorites: Mystery Girl, Music to My Ears, Autoline, Shades, Till You're Mine, and Vanishing Point. In the best way, this album feels like an evil girl. And the music videos are amazing. I love specifically the Mystery Girl music video because that song is just, nothing will beat that song. If you want to start off with an Alexandra Savior song, maybe start off with that. If you want to dive into Belladonna of Sadness, and I'm not trying to put off Belladonna of Sadness. I love that album. I don't know, I get an energy and a vibe, and I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, Mystery Girl is a work of art, and that music video is just amazing. And I'm gonna be putting pictures from Mystery Girl. Her new album, released late May, Beneath the Lily Pad, that's what it's called, is new and fresh. It's wholly Alexandra. It's so glorious and harmonious sounding. I need to be in a flower field, or again in like the Pacific Northwest, or if I'm listening to the Mothership single, that track, I need to be lifted into the Alexandra Mothership. The album released 2 singles. It was the Mothership and Unforgivable, and they were very strong singles, and I love those songs. And then I think they are the first 2 tracks on the album to open the album. The album cover is heavily Keeper of the Keys coded, and that's why I was like, I have to write about this, because it's just the keyhole, the vibes, like that is so Keeper of the Keys, and I was like, it's meant to be. And also Alexandra's track Howl from The Archer is 1/4 of the reasoning for my name, Aster Howls. I love that song, and I love anything that has to do with howl or has howl in it, so that's one of the reasons why I gave myself that name. While researching Alexandra, so I always do a little bit of research before these episodes because there's always more to learn, but when I was researching her, I discovered that she's wildly creative. Like beyond her music, like she paints a lot, and she created, like, first of all, she created the album cover for Beneath the Lily Pad, but then there are singles that were released from previous albums, and they're hand painted like album covers, and I'm like, I didn't know that was her. I'm amazed. I love that. And I also am just someone who's like very amazed at people who can draw or paint, because I just like it's not something I focus on. I need to I feel like drawing is something like you can be born with it, but also you can like practice. So I think, you know, one day if I feel like it, I will pick up like drawing or like really forcing myself. Even painting, I feel like I could teach myself. Like watercolor is easy, like I feel like I could do that, but like anytime anyone can like really draw or paint, I have nothing but green eyes. I am just like astonished and mad about it. Yeah, so I love the idea of her scrapbooking or journaling and putting pictures together. That's kind of what I got from the Beneath the Lily Pad album. And I think I saw a video of her, like the process of making it and how like tedious it was, but it came out to be beautiful, so it was worth it. But yeah, so seeing what she's done for that album and also like how creative she is, I was like, I really need to step it up for my thumbnail and the, you know, the journal page that I do for each artist in each key. So I was like, I really need to step it up for Alex and make it gorgeous. Okay, so for Beneath the Lily Pad, my favorite tracks are Venus, The Harvest is Thoughtless, Let Me Out, Beneath the Lily Pad, Hark, Goodbye Old Friend, and Old Oregon. Now that's a lot of tracks. It's not to say I don't like the other tracks, it's just I don't listen to them enough, but these are the songs that I'm like on repeat. I know them by heart, I know them by name. That being said, I absolutely love these tracks. My number one all-time favorite track though is Venus. I made a Spotify playlist that perfectly encapsulates the feeling of Venus, just very jazzy, romantic music, very like a night under the stars. Like, that's exactly how I feel when I listen to that track and when I play it, and I just think it's I just love that track so bad. And I also made a TikTok for it, but I don't necessarily feel like that's like the vibe. I feel like that's, you know, the Venus vibe in general, but I feel like it's more nighttime-y, like very supernatural, like, I don't know, like I just feel like it's blue and purple and not like pink and Venus-y or light and, you know what I mean, Venetian. I don't think it's like it's called Venus and I'm like, I don't think it's Venetian. Anyway, yeah, so when I listen to the song, I'm on another plane. I've hit a higher frequency. The song is seriously a jazzy, beautiful little sweet song. The lyrics, the ocean always sweeps me back to you, and Venus, in some planetary way, she orbits around me and you. And it's the way she's singing it, like you just have to hear her sing it, and she sings it so cute, and it's just it's so romantic and beautiful, and I love it, and I have tears forming in my eyes because of my Pisces placements. Yeah, so I said purely romantic. It's old Disney at night. When I listen to this song and the chorus, these are the photos that I imagine in my head. I already discussed that. But it's also that Monte Carlo scene where La Vie en Rose is playing. I'm pretty sure that's right, but it's Selena and the guy, and they're like on that thing, like watching the city or something. I will insert a photo, but it is so specific, and I feel like that is hella like what Venus feels like that moment and that scene. This is an album that I play for comfort and for understanding. Beneath the Lily Pad, the single itself, and title track of the album, right? Does that make sense? Yes, the title track is an instrumental with light la 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 vocals. It is a beautiful interlude track. Alexandra has an album trailer video that she uploaded with this track as the background music, and it's very like a introduction to the album. It's also, I mean, it's not the introduction because it's like an interlude. It's in the middle, the way it's situated in the album. But yeah, it's just like a peek into what this album is, and I really love that track. And I was like looking up like reviews about it on TikTok to see like what people were saying, and this girl like rated it so low, and I was like I was like, what? Anyway, that wouldn't be me. Okay, the track The Harvest is Thoughtless is really mysterious to me. It's a gorgeous track. You hear the sound of birds in the background. It feels as though you're on a walk or in a field. The track is mysterious in the sense that I need someone to give me a proper analysis. I think I've done a good job understanding it to my point of understanding, if that is the right terminology. But I just need someone to solidify it for me and be like, yes, well, this is what she was saying. Yeah, I need someone to give me the proper analysis. I am once again asking the Genius Lyrics guides to grant my wish. There's nothing more that I hate is when I like a track, I like a new song, and Genius have not got on that, have not started analyzing, and then I have to like figure it out for myself. That's really something I need to work through. It's giving self-trust. Like, you can figure it out for yourself, but I just need someone to be like, yeah, that is what it's about. Yeah, you were right. Or have you also thought about this? Like, I'm just open to the conversation part of it. I don't know. Diving in, I said, to me, this phrase, the harvest is thoughtless, can mean multiple things. The harvest, the end goal, the results, the thing you worked so hard for is thoughtless. thoughtless? Is it saying that the act of harvesting is thoughtless? Is it saying that it is peaceful? I wonder if she's trying to say that the journey there, the trek, the path is worth more than the destination. Again, this album is a coming home sort of album, but also wildly her and wildly awakening. It just feels like purely Alexandra. Like, it feels like it's literally like her hands are all on this album. Like, it's just her. For the harvest to be thoughtless, you put so much time and energy into the journey there, into planting the seeds, watching it grow, feeding it and watering it, that by the time you come to collect, by the time you are granted with the results, it's almost utterly thoughtless. The end is nothing like the beginning or the journey. That's how I interpreted it. That might not be right, or I might be totally off balance. It might be clear to others, but it's a little confusing to me. But I think that makes sense in a way. The lines, I was blind, but suddenly I can see that none of it's for me. I said, is she saying that this isn't for her as though she's choosing it? Like, is she saying it's not for her, I don't want anything to do, like, it's not for me, I don't want anything to do with it? Or is she saying that these things happen and it's beyond me? Like, it doesn't have to do with me at all. Like, they're not doing it for me. None of it's for me. I think that everything, or like, if you think that everything is about you or everything happens because of you, it's like the ego. Is she saying like it's not about me? Because I think she says stuff like the birds go back to what they're doing, or like the ocean falls back into the sea and none of it's for me. Like, I think she's trying to say like everything just goes, like everything's, the birds chirping, I don't know if you can hear them, but they're like, yes, that's right. But it's like nature just does what it's supposed to do. The ocean tide changes, it comes back, that's just what it's supposed to do, and it has nothing to do with me. None of that is on my terms. Like, it's just how it's supposed to be. I don't know, like, it drives me crazy. And I really love this song. Like, I love this song, and it's one of my top favorites, and it just pisses me off that I can't know like specifically what it is. Hard enough. We're going to the next song. Okay, I said no, but wait, I said I want an answer. Alexandra, please grant me an answer. I know this is one of my favorite tracks for a reason, and I need to be validated for said reason. I want to hear what her mind says. Okay, now we're moving on. Old Oregon fills me with envy because I've wanted to move to the Pacific Northwest for as long as I can remember. I'm working on it. I'm in the process, I'm getting there. Don't you worry. I'm not worrying. Her hometown, being Oregon, does turn my eyes a splendid shade of green. Again, this is the second time I'm using that term. I think like I've been using this all week. I think it's so funny to be like, my eyes are definitely green. Yeah, I don't know, I really like that. So I've been using it every chance I get. So this is the second time I used it today in this video, okay? Anyway. Listening to the track, I physically feel like I understand the feeling she is expressing. A hometown in the country, or calmer without the city, is something only the people who have that experience can understand. Coming back to your hometown or living in your hometown for a while creates a relationship that's interesting. I always want to use interesting, but I was taught in my senior year that interesting doesn't mean anything, and every time I go to use it, I'm like, there's a cognitive dissonance in my brain where my teacher's like, what does that even mean? But I just feel like a song about her hometown, or your hometown in general, how you were brought up, how you feel about your family or hometown, or if they're still there or if they're not there, it's different for everyone. Everybody has a different feeling, and I think that feeling can change too. I feel like when I leave, I will feel different from how I'm feeling toward it presently. I think my view of it has changed recently. And I talked to my friend who moved out of state, and she talks about this state like it's the best place she's ever been. And I just like, I don't see it like that, but I do think I might, and I think that might happen. I don't know if I'm getting off topic, but I just feel like listening to her talk about like her hometown, or like a song like the end of the beginning by Joe Curry, I feel like it's like songs about your hometown or before your past, or a place where you've spent so much of your time, like, are very important and think pieces. I don't know. Okay, so I said the track Old Oregon expresses how she is calming down, running back to her roots. I imagine the 13 going on 30 scene where she goes back home. She is filled with warmth and comfort that she is home with her brother. So I have to actually make sure this is right. Yeah, she talks about her mother and her brother in the song, and it's just a very sweet song about coming home. I'm gonna cry, actually. It's so sweet. She says, "Take me somewhere cold where I know I'll always be loved. Take me home back to old Oregon." And then she describes her mother and brother. If this will load without me crying. She said, "My mother sits beneath the shade of a cornucopia of rain, but I know someday she will see the sun. My brother's out with no jacket in the coldest hour as winter hits, but I know somehow he'll keep himself warm." I wonder if, like, she comes back and she thinks about how she's left, or thinks about who they are without her. I think it's like a lot of emotions. I don't know why I'm crying. I mean, I know I'm crying, but yes, it's very sweet. And I don't know, I think that line about her mother and brother there's more to say about it. It's not just as simple as it sounds, you know what I mean? Yeah, I said I see the picture so vivid in my mind. I have a visual without even being granted one. There's no music video for this. I said, "Oh, old Oregon. Alexandra, I know this track is special to you. I can feel it. The track Let Me Out. Alexandra writes and sings, I'm only half what I surrender to. I appreciate this line, and it has stuck with me. I walk around with that line in my head. I'm only half of what I surrender to. I'm in the process of who I am." Everyone is, aren't they? Some people aren't. But I felt like that more this year than anything. I'm only half what I surrender to. Like, it is the epitome of I've got plans that I can't share with you right now because the haters will sabotage me. I've got plans that I cannot share with you right now. That is like how I feel about this line. Because it's just like, there are things and situations that I'm in, and it's like, if only you knew it's temporary. like I've got stars in my eyes, like, don't, like, anyway. Yeah, I'm only half what I surrender to. I'm stronger than that. I deserve more than that. Okay. The other track, Hark. Hark. It's like when I was in chorus and we do Hark, the Herald Angels, or Heart, whatever, the other songs, it's very like choir, church, core, whatever. But the track Hark is a warm cup of milk tea as the sun's setting. She writes, "Hark, here he comes as he right, I can't speak. Hark, here he comes as he wrangles the sun and pushes it back to where it used to be. Time has forgotten how time has been lost onto me. I love that. I love this track. I just think it's so cute. And like, time has forgotten how time has been lost onto me. That is so another like low-key reference to the fantasy book I've been working on. The title is timeless, and I'm in the process of it. I was gonna give a Love Island reference. It's early days. Hark, here he comes as he wrangles the sun and pushes it back to where it used to be. I'm overrun by the sadness of one whom time has forgotten how time has been lost onto me. The sun sets and suddenly it dawns on me. Each rise is followed by a light that swallows every moment left of you and me. Ooh, this is very the book I'm working on. Like, everything is meant to be, because this is like crazy. Okay, I also like will hear songs and listen to the lyrics and be like, whoa, but like reading them is different. I've expressed this before. When I go in to analyze the song, I find a new whole thing that like is crazy, like a new whole meaning that like opens my eyes, and I'm like, oh, the song has changed for me in the best way. But yeah, this just has one verse. Hark is very short. I think it's mostly like instrumental, if I'm remembering it right. But yeah, I love that track. Just the idea of memory, thinking back to what you've had with someone. How was it lost? Was it time lost? Did they take that time from you? Did they waste your time? Did you learn something from during that time? Is it gonna haunt you for the dawn of time, for the rest of your time? Like, it's just very interesting. I don't know, I really like it. Now, the phrase and meaning behind Beneath the Lily Pad. So the title track of the album, Beneath the Lily Pad. I said lily pads are so cute. The imagery in there is clear. To be beneath something or under is similar to Sarah Kinsley's work. That was the key, or the episode that I did prior to this one. It can also be about hiding, maybe popping your head up from hiding. Who lies on lily pads? Frogs. Let me see what frogs symbolize. What do frogs symbolize? Frogs symbolize transformation. Actually, let's get away from AI overview. I hate that update. Anyone else? I know you do. Transformation, cleansing, and renewal. I love that. And I feel like this album is very that. I feel like it's about transformation, awakening. It just feels wholly her, and this new version of her, but also coming back to who she was, and it just feels entirely her and wholly her. That's there's no other way to explain it. But okay, I said who lies on lily pads? Frogs. Princess and the Frog vibes. Also water lilies. Like when I looked up lily pad pictures, I saw a bunch of water lilies, and also people confuse water lilies with lotus flowers or wren, which I love very much, hold near and dear to my heart. And wren is the name of my main character in this fantasy series that I've been working on. So I love white lotus flower, or not white lotus, lotus flowers, and wren. I said to be beneath a lily pad is to be on the precipice of something being a spiritual journey or awakening. She's close to dipping her head out of the water, to coming up from the water, to come up from air. I am going to be moving on to the Archer album. So this is the album that is right after Belladonna of Sadness. So it is her sophomore album. This is the album before, like the last release of music before she released this new album that I'm in love with. But this album, I would describe it as like a wide range of emotions. Even Alexandra herself described it as that. This is from Groony Tunes magazine. She said, I went through a long period of anger and I crashed into an intense depression and suffered from a lot of mental illness issues. There are a lot more ranges of emotion going on in this next record. The songs are all very different from each other. The sound is maybe less clean than my last record, dirtier. I have a lot of fun with Sam Cohen, the producer, finding some 60s sounds and getting down with it. Yeah, I definitely hear that and feel that. And in a way, I don't know, like it's just entirely her. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like every 5 seconds I'm like entirely her, wholly her, but it's just like there's no Alex Turner on it. Like get out. Like do you know what I mean? And I no hate, love. Like I went to Arctic Monkeys, like I love Arctic Monkeys, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, I just think like a lot of people, especially in her YouTube comments, like compare them, and or they'll be like, oh, she's the woman version of Alex Turner, and I'm like I'm just like, I just don't like comparisons too, because I just think it like I think you can, you know, I think comparisons can be good for like trying to explain to someone what this person sounds like, or oh, if you like this artist they'll like this, but then they get like they run with it. Like sometimes they run with it, and they are running with this in her comments, and I'm just like, enough. Like we know, like enough. Like I don't want to hear it anymore. Like she's like, and especially with the Beneath the Lily Pad, I don't hear that at all. So let's keep it quiet, let's keep it cute, and let my girl run her shit. Like I don't care. Anyway, the But You acoustic, there's okay, so from the Archer album there's a song But You, which is amazing, but there's an acoustic version and it's just like broken down. It's unimaginably sad and shrill when you don't have the background instrumental like from the studio version. When it's just these few instruments and her haunting vocals, it almost becomes threateningly romantic. I remember, I think she says in the song like something like nobody else can heal it but you, like something like she's going through this thing and they're like, but you're the only one that can heal. And I just like it's like, again, I'm just now realizing that it's one of those tracks where I love a track that is like, you're the only one. Like one of my favorite songs is I Only Have Eyes for You, and I love tracks like that, and I feel like this is kind of one of those like tracks, like, but you, baby, but you're the only one, like who's gonna fix it? Like it's just so good. Okay, but yeah, so The Archer is such an important album to me and to Alexandra. I'm sure she opens the album with 7 years. I've had 7 years of bad luck. I remember hearing that, and also it's like the saddest fucking song, and like I used to listen to that on repeat. I used to be like, no, because who screwed me over? Like who? I've had 7 years of bad luck from some dumbass shit that I haven't reposted. When you remember when people were sending around like for To Be Honest, or you'll have 7 years of bad luck. Like from when I was a kid, somebody did something where it's like I would believe that. But anyway, that being said, as I ran my shit, 7 years, I've had 7 years of bad luck. To open an album like that is so like, oh. So we're getting into the real stuff now. This line has always stuck with me. It's always remembered by me. It's breaking away from the collaboration and getting to choose and say what it is and what she wants truly. It's entirely woman. No one is meddling where they shouldn't be meddling. I love every track from this album. And then again, How will always hold a special place in my heart. But Bad Disease, But You, Saving Grace, Crying All the Time, Soft Currents, Howl again, are just amazing tracks. But yeah, I feel like sonically the sound of this album, like it's a lot of different things. Again, it's like a lot of things are going on, but it still has that like mysterious, like, but it's just like, it's almost better. One would argue it's almost better. I don't know, I feel like, again, like the way she described it, it's almost not clean, it's dirtier than Belladonna of Sadness, and I would agree. I feel like it's like dirtier and grittier in a better way though, like in a way where like I can hear that contrast, and it's not like one's better than the other, but like I appreciate the Archer for reasons where I feel like it's like really Alexandra, it's hers, like she can call it her own. But yeah, I love her music. I wanted to do an episode on her because of Beneath the Lily Pad's release. I was so excited for this album, and I've just been seeing all the stuff she's been like posting about it on her Instagram, and I've just been like, and she's posting these like live versions of her performing some of the tracks, and I really love it. I really love the Mothership. It's just, her voice is so, it is just like when someone opens their mouth and they have a specific sound, and she's one of those people. Like, I want to know how she actually talks in real life. Like, does she have a transatlantic accent? Because she sings with a transatlantic accent. That's not a transatlantic accent at all, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that she sings like that, and I don't know how else to describe it unless you hear it. Again, these videos are purely like I'm doing a candle review, and I'm like, guys, it smells so good. Like, you just have to like see for yourself. Because there's only so much I can say, but I hope in the much that I said, it affects you in a way where you want to follow up with it. Yeah, but thank you if you made it to the end, thank you for coming, and I will be locking the door again until next time. But yeah, come stop by again. I'll be back so soon. I'll be back. But yeah, have a great rest of your night, and listen to Alexandra Savior. Start with Mystery Girl, and then listen to Venus, because it's like Love's music. It's just like jazzy, gorgeous music. It's so cute and lovely. Anyway, bye.